Coming off the court every week, our chance to talk with one of the Suns' players, even in the middle of the playoffs, and we're very grateful for that and our ability to talk with them. Suns win game one against the Mavs last night, 121-114. And joining us right now on the 72 Sold Sports Line, he had 9 points last night, 4 of 8 from the floor, 5 assists, 1 turnover in his near 20 minutes on the floor. Of course, I'm talking about Cameron Payne, who rejoins us on the Burns and Gambo show. Welcome back to the program, Cam. We appreciate the time.
What's going on, y'all? No problem.
Yeah, I got to listen, before we talk about this series, got to say, man, I loved that dunk you had in Game 4 against New Orleans. That had to feel good. That was a good dunk.
I appreciate it. Every blue moon.
Yeah, I mean, that you could put that on a poster. You could get that made. Put that in a room, the old poster. That was a great dunk. Let's talk about that New Orleans series before we get to Dallas. How much of a test were they for you, and how much do you think them pushing you guys will help in your quest for a championship?
It was a big time test for us. Willie G knew us. He was with us last year, so he knew all our guys' tendencies. And I'll probably say we really didn't shoot the ball fairly well, but we figured it out. We started to figure out how to stop Ingram and force other guys to beat us. And we just all the hoorah with Jay Crowder got him going for this series. And I mean, we got a lot of good things out of it, but it was definitely a tough one. Willie G did a hell of a job.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you've got a chance to be beside Chris Paul for a few years now. What was it like for you watching him go 14 for 14 in that final game?
Man, it was magical. I never seen it. I never seen that besides a big man doing it. Not a guard. Because if it was me, I would have kept shooting. I would have forced myself to miss one. But nah, man, Chris, man, when he gets to his spot, man, you can almost count it. Me and Nish, we always say layup every time he shoots his midi. But he played a great game. He just did something magical, man. Never seen it before.
So, like Book said after that game, you agree with Book. You believe in the heat check, right? That's what Book said after that. You believe you're going to take a shot to see if you can keep it going, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cam Payne joining us here on the Burns and Gambo show. Tell me, for you, what adjustments did you make? In terms of your game, in terms of inside your own head from one series to the next? Because I know in talking with the media, you were talking about needing to put that one past you, get that series past you, and kind of change your approach a little bit. What changes did you make coming out of the Pelican series going into the Mavs series?
Just kept grinding. I know I've been putting in the work, so I just felt like I was just due. I still feel like I am. So I'm just gonna keep working on my game. Still keep getting better during this playoffs. Because when my opportunity is called, man, I just want to be ready for it. I've got to keep playing better. Keep knocking my shots down. Keep getting my teammates involved. But I mean, being aggressive was one of the key things going into this series. Being aggressive and finding my teammates a lot better.
It was such a tough series for everybody against the Pelicans. Was it hard for you to fight that feeling of frustration in that series with how things were going, both in terms of how tough they made it on you as a team and how tough they made it on you personally?
Oh, for sure. Like I said earlier, Willie G knows us. He did a great job on the personnel. And then it didn't help. Book was out.
Yeah.
So, it's just a little different dynamic during the playoffs that we just had to figure out and fight through. But he knew us, and we just had to find different ways to put it together. And like you said, they definitely got us ready for this series.
Yeah. Well, I thought you had a fantastic game last night. You had 19 minutes. You were 4 of 8 from the field. You had 5 assists in the game. You had the 9 points. You knocked down a 3. So good to see you. And Jay, too. I think, for this team to win a championship, they're very much going to have to rely on a lot of the key role players. So I'm sure for you and for Jay, getting out there and knocking down some shots must have felt awfully good.
Oh, for sure. That was huge. And then it was even better. It was in the Valley, so
right,
got my confidence up.
Yeah. Let's talk about them. They're not a physical team. They're not a big team. They like to go with that small ball lineup with Kleber at the 5 and Dory Finney-Smith at the 4. Just the difference between playing a physical team like New Orleans and then more of a finesse team like Dallas. How do you get adjusted to it?
Yeah, it's definitely a big difference. Got to find a way to not foul and try to keep them off the 3-point line. This past series, that really wasn't the case to run them off the three. But this series, you got to limit their threes as much as possible. So it's just a little different kind of game plan today. And obviously, they got a bulldog up there with Luka. He's a great player, so we got to find ways to limit his numbers and keep him off the 3-point line.
Cam Payne, our guest here on the Burns and Gambo show from the Suns after their Game 1 win last night against the Dallas Mavericks. And yet, defending the three-point shot is something you guys have been so good at all year long. What is it about your defensive approach as a team that has allowed you to be so good guarding the three ball?
I'll probably say one of the main things is just knowing the personnel, following the game plan. And, knowing those guys who really want to catch and shoot to run them off the line.
The Luka thing's interesting because we're at all these games, and you guys guard him one-on-one. You're not trapping him. You're not trying to force the ball out of his hands. It almost seems like you guys were content to let him get his, but to make sure that nobody else got hot, to make sure that Brunson didn't get hot, to make sure that Spencer Dinwiddie didn't get hot, Adoree Finney-Smith. I mean, was that the plan for last night? I mean, I'm sure you don't want Luka going for all those points, but to make sure that everybody else was held in check?
I feel like that's almost in every series. You always want to try to get everybody else to beat you, but like this time, if one guy gonna do it, then make sure we cut the water off on the other guys at least.
All right.
But like I said before, just knowing the personnel and just sticking to the game plan.
All right, so I'm going to ask you your favorite play from last night because we've got a little contest going here. So it was Mikhail's insane three-point block against Bullock. JaVale's coast-to-coast dunk, the absurd bank shot by CP3, which you could practice 100 times and probably make it 5, or the Cam slam. So Mikhail's insane three-point block, JaVale's coast-to-coast dunk after the steal, the CP3 bank shot, or the Cam slam. What was your favorite play of the game?
I gotta go with Big Vale. I gotta go with Big Vale. He guarded, got a big time steal, then Euro from the 3. Yeah, I gotta go with Vale.
Okay. All right. You know what? 80% of our audience is also going with JaVale McGee. So you're not.
You're in the majority.
You're in the majority on that one.
I'm in the majority.
Yeah, I went with Mikhail's block. I watched that play 5 times this morning, and the team defense on that was just incredible. But I'll give you.
It was a great block. It was a great block.
Yeah, it looked like Herb Jones in the New Orleans series blocking the three-pointers.
Yeah, it was pretty similar.
Yeah. Well, hey, Cam, we appreciate the time. You know that. Thanks for taking a couple minutes out of your day. Best of luck the rest of the series. We always appreciate the conversation, all right?
All right, thank you, guys. Appreciate it.